Hello everybody, my name is James, hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking more about Lewis Hamilton's first race with Ferrari in Melbourne, as well as a new penalty verdict that's been issued following the Grand Prix. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Formula 1 content. Also make sure to follow me on X at James's Pit Lane, I'll leave a link in the description, but let's jump straight into the video. So let's start with Hamilton, with more being said about his relationship with his new race engineer after his first race with Ferrari. Now, it wasn't the best debut for Hamilton. You know, the car has issues and Hamilton was only able to finish P10 in the race while Charles Leclerc was only P8. So yeah, there's a lot of work to do for Ferrari. And it seemed that during the race that he exchanged some frustrated radio messages with his new race engineer Riccardo Ademi, who's also been the race engineer for Sebastian Vettel and Carlos Sainz. For example, at one point Ademi advised an engine setting, saying you can use K1 when you're close, and Hamilton replied, leave me to it please. And Ademi said again, K1 available, to which Hamilton replied, yes I know, leave me to it please. Hamilton then reported a lost gear sync, before responding sharply to more Ademi advice, saying, please leave it, just leave it to me with the DRS, it's not an issue. And then Hamilton later asked via radio, I thought you said it wasn't going to rain much, we just missed a big opportunity there, and Ademi said, understood. So yeah, a bit of frustration there in those radio messages, it seems, and one thing that really caught the eye was, the tone of these radio messages. And Sky Sports' Karun Shandok assessed, one thing that came from those radio messages that we played was that he and Ademi need more time to understand how much communication Lewis wants, and what type. There were a number of times where he would say, tell me something, then they would give him information, then he'd say, too much, leave it to me. They just need to build that bond. Race drivers and their engineers will spend more time together than their partners throughout the season. But they're still at round one, they need to find their feet and understand and maybe have a conversation before China. Now, I think, in my opinion, part of the frustration for Hamilton would have been, where he was. For most of the race, he was P8. He was stuck behind Alex Albon. He wasn't really making an impression, and I think, he was just getting frustrated in that situation. So yeah, it will be interesting to see the conversations that Hamilton and Ademi have in China. But let's move on to Mercedes, who've successfully overturned a penalty that was issued to Kimi Antonelli. Now, Antonelli had an absolutely brilliant race. He started P16 after an issue on his car in qualifying, but he drove an amazing race. He looked super quick throughout the Grand Prix. He overtook a lot of cars, and he ended up finishing in P4, but he was demoted to P5 because he was handed a 5-second time penalty after the final pit stops, after the stewards had judged that the Mercedes crew had released him into the path of Nico Hülkenberg, and that the Sauber had been forced to brake to take avoiding action. So yeah, that demoted Kimi to P5, but Mercedes weren't really happy with that verdict, and they requested a right of review from the stewards. And Mercedes have been successful, and it was a relatively quick decision, with the stewards deciding to overturn the penalty, which means Kimi Antonelli now finishes P4. And the stewards said, having examined the new video, plus additional video previously not available to the stewards and taken from the helicopter, the stewards decide to reverse the previous decision. As a result, the penalty on car 12 in document number 43 is removed and no further action is required. It is clear that car 12 did not cross into the fast lane until a significant distance down the pit lane, and only after the driver checked his mirror to confirm clearance with car 27. So yeah, that's really good news for Antonelli, and as I say, a really good job by him in the Melbourne Grand Prix, and I'm looking forward to see what more he can do as the season goes on. But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care. Bye.